Hello, friends. Today, I want to share with you 4 phrases that are sabotaging your weight loss journey. I've been working with midlife women on sustainable fat loss for 11 years, and I consistently see midlife women frustrated with themselves. Why am I not doing this? Why am I like this? Why do I do this to myself? What's wrong with me? So many of the women that I talk to and that I coach don't realize that the reason that they aren't losing weight has nothing to do with food. The problem is not food. The problem is you. Your deprivation mindset, restrictive behaviors with food, your relationship with food, your dieter's mentality, thinking you can only ever eat healthy foods, your all or nothing mindset, how you cope with your emotions, your self sabotaging patterns, your negative self talk, and self criticism. None of those are food issues. Those are you issues. And until you address the you issues, you stay stuck in this cycle. And you're actually getting in your own way with your own words and you don't even realize it. The good news is this is exactly what I help my clients with. Many of them have been on this podcast sharing their stories and how I've helped them. And the funny thing is when I began coaching midlife clients, I really thought it was as simple as telling people what to eat and what to do. But I quickly learned that does not work. You might be able to follow a plan for a while and do things for a while, but then after some time, you find yourself reverting back to old habits, or maybe you always stay stuck and you're not making progress and you don't know why. It's because these issues are the root causes of your weight problem. So today, we're going to talk about 4 phrases secretly sabotaging you in your weight loss journey. You don't even realize you're doing it. You're unconsciously saying these things to yourself that are making weight loss harder for you to lose weight, easier for you to give up and feel unmotivated and to do the things that you likely know you should be doing to take care of yourself. So let's dive in. First one is I can't. If you say I can't do something, you're shutting down the possibility that you could ever do that in the future, or that you could ever figure out how to do that, or you could ever learn how to do that. When you say I can't, what you really mean is I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to try that. I'm not willing to figure out how to do that. I'm not willing to learn how to do that. For example, I can't get up in the morning to get steps. It's not that you can't. It's that you're not willing to get up in the morning to get steps. You're not willing to pay the price now to get up earlier so that you can lose weight, get fitter, feel better, feel more confident, and gain some strength. Another example might be I can't drive 25 minutes to the gym. It's too far. It's not that you can't drive 25 minutes. It's that you're not willing to drive 25 minutes to the gym. Or another example might be I can't track my foods this weekend when I'm out of town. It's not that you can't track your food, it's that you're not willing to track your food when you're out of town this weekend. Tracking your food literally just takes a few minutes. Even if you're out of town, you can quickly go into your app, do a search, take your best guess, move on. The thing is, you're not willing to take the search, take your best guess, and move on. Like, could you go to a court of law and prove beyond a reasonable doubt to a judge that you can't possibly track your food because you're out of town? No, that would sound silly. The truth is, I don't want to track my food. I'm not willing to track my food when I'm out of town. You see, part of the issue is you are not telling yourself the truth. Remember my client Patty? She was on the last podcast episode. She said she learned in weight loss coaching that she needed to be honest with herself. You're not telling yourself the truth when you say, I can't. You're shutting yourself down from the possibility of finding a solution, figuring it out. You're telling your brain with I can't that I'm not willing to do what I need to do to lose weight. I'm not willing to pay the price of changing. It's not worth it to me to reach my goal. When you say I can't, you're saying I'm helpless. I'm powerless. There's nothing I can possibly do or change or figure out or learn how to do. It's self-sabotage. It's black and white thinking. It's a very fixed mindset. You saying I can't means you haven't figured it out yet. That's actually what it means. I haven't figured it out yet. So don't shut yourself down from figuring it out. I see a lot of I can't lose weight messages in comments that midlife women leave on my social media posts. You must stop saying I can't, because you are taking away all your power and you're making yourself feel powerless when you do that. There is nothing you can do. No help you can get. You are just a lost cause. That's not true. Imagine telling your child they can't figure out how to ride a bike. I don't know, kid, you should just give up. Or that they can't get accepted into college. You would never say those things to them. You would help them figure it out. You would help guide them or get them a guide. I mean, what makes you think you should be telling yourself you can't? Where does that even come from? Where does that stem from? Because it doesn't make sense and it's not even true. Of course, you can figure it out. Instead of saying I can't, I want you to work on replacing it with I haven't figured it out yet. Yet. I haven't lost weight yet. I haven't figured out how to get steps yet. I haven't figured out how to track my food yet. I haven't figured out how to work the gym into my schedule yet. That is very different than I can't lose weight, or I can't get steps, or I can't track my food. I haven't figured it out yet. That's all it is. Yet. Notice that opens you up to a bunch of possibilities to figure it out. So practice saying whatever it is you want to say without saying I can't. It's going to be hard. And that's exactly why you need to practice it, because you have a bad habit of telling yourself you can't, which is shutting you down. Because when you say to yourself that you can't, your brain doesn't think, well, what could I possibly do instead? What could I try? Your brain does not problem solve. You are telling your brain with the I can't that there isn't anything you could possibly do or try, no help you could get. So your brain isn't going to go to offer you alternative solutions. This is why you stay stuck and frustrated. If you want to get unstuck, you must challenge your language and change how you speak, because how you speak to yourself drives your behavior. That's the first piece. So, second one is I had to. This phrase is so disempowering. Like, I had a stressful day and my daughter was sick and I went to the drive-thru at Chick-fil-A and I had to order a large waffle fry, fried chicken sandwich, and a root beer. I had to. But that's not true. You didn't have to. There's very little in life that we have to do. There's always another option or another choice. That doesn't mean it's always the choice you want, right? So instead of saying I had to, say I wanted to. I went to Chick-fil-A and I wanted to order a large waffle fry, chicken sandwich, and a root beer. There's no shame, no judgment. It's just that you wanted to. Oh, but let me guess. You don't want to say that to yourself because immediately you go into judgment mode. Right. I have a podcast on that. Yeah, that's part of your mindset problem too. But the thing is like saying I want to order a large waffle fry, chicken sandwich, and a root beer. You know, if that kind of makes you go, ooh, I don't like how that sounds. You know why you don't like the way that sounds? Because it's the truth. And you go into the judgment. The judgment is the issue. You need to be more objective, because by not telling yourself the truth, you are actually hurting yourself. And that's exactly what my client Patty said in the last episode. You are hurting yourself by not telling yourself the truth. You wanted to do it. Notice how I'm saying that. I'm not saying that in a judgmental way. I'm not saying you wanted to do that and you ruined everything. I'm saying you wanted to do that. That's what I wanted in that moment. It's not true, though, that you had no other options at Chick-fil-A. Somebody was wringing your arm and saying you had to order this. No, that's not true. The problem with the phrase I had to is that it sends the message to your brain that you are not in control of your choices. You have zero power. That makes you feel powerless around food. But you are the only one who has the power. Food doesn't have any power over you. The problem is you keep giving your power away. You almost always have a choice. When it comes to weight loss, food, exercise, it's almost always true that you have some choice of what you can do. It's very disempowering to tell yourself the story that you had to do something. Stop giving your power away. No more I had to. I wanted to. Okay? That's number 2. Number 3, third phase is I'm just not somebody who exercises. I'm just somebody who eats when they're stressed. I'm just the sort of person who always, I'm just this, I'm just that. You know, those are self-limiting beliefs. You're telling yourself a story that you just can't change. Don't go limiting yourself. That's a fixed mindset. You don't know who you could be 5 years from now. I mean, think about when you were 7 years old. You didn't imagine where you were going to be, what you're doing today. And even 10 years ago, you probably didn't imagine where you were going to be 10 years ago, right now. So stop boxing yourself in. Stop acting like you can't possibly change. You can't possibly learn new things. Of course you can. Don't limit your own potential. Instead, say, I haven't figured it out yet. I haven't figured out yet how to be somebody who exercises. I am somebody who eats because I don't know how to deal with stress, and I haven't figured out yet how to deal with stress without food. Notice that subtle shift in language makes a huge difference because you're no longer limiting your potential. You are keeping the door open for you to change. And no, you don't have to believe that you can change right now. You don't need to believe in yourself to change. What you need to do is to stop limiting your potential and acting like you are totally incapable of learning and doing new things. Of course, you can learn new things. What makes you think you can't? Where does that even come from? These phrases that I'm explaining to you today are stories, and they're getting in the way of you achieving freedom from dieting. And one of the ways you get out of your way and stop self-sabotaging is by altering how you speak to yourself. Start by becoming aware first of what you are saying to yourself. Listen, how are you talking about things? What are you saying to yourself? Then begin shifting what you're saying to yourself and talking to yourself in a more truthful, not judgmental, truthful and empowering way, and not in a fake positive way, because that's not going to help either. Truthful, objective, more problem-solving kind of way. So instead of saying, I'm just not somebody who likes to exercise, say, I'm learning how to exercise. I'm figuring out how to be somebody who exercises, or maybe I'll like it in the future. See how these statements are acknowledging, right, that maybe right now this is not where you are, not in the present, but it's also not boxing you in from the potential of becoming somebody who enjoys exercise in the future and who does it routinely. Because you literally have no idea. You literally don't know. I, for instance, used to be somebody who didn't like strength training at all. And now I really love it. Imagine if I had limited my potential by telling myself I never could be somebody who would like strength training. If I had done that, I never would be where I am right now. And it's the same thing before I lost 80 pounds. I used to tell myself this really sad story all the time that I could never be somebody who's fit. I always wanted to be somebody who's fit, but I could never be that person because I had an accident in my 20s and had a bad hip from that accident. And so I was always telling myself this really sad, depressing story of I can never do anything because I have this bad hip, which was literally not true. There were many things I was capable of doing, but I was limiting myself with my own thoughts and language. So many of you are doing this. You're limiting your potential and your language is sabotaging you. And like I said, where does that even come from? What makes you think that? What makes you think you're incapable of learning new things or figuring things out? That's kind of weird if you think about it. Okay, last phrase. Stop saying, I'm trying. You're not trying to lose weight. You either are losing weight or you are not losing weight. You either are making choices towards the act of getting healthier and losing weight, or you're on a weight loss journey, or you are not on a weight loss journey. You are not trying to be on a weight loss journey. You are not trying to be healthy. You either are on it or you're not on it. You got to start talking in that way. There's no more I'm trying. It's either I'm doing or I'm not doing. I'm on the journey or I'm not on the journey. I'm telling you, this makes a huge difference. Practice it right now. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm on a weight loss journey. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm on a weight loss journey. Little difference there, right? So let's do a little exercise here. There's no I'm trying, right? But I want to distinguish something here. I want you to first say, I'm trying to lose weight with a very confident voice, very positive and confident voice. I'm trying to lose weight. Feels really fake, right? Feels like we're pretending. Feels strange. Because saying I'm trying confidently is like saying I kind of don't believe in myself. It's really fake. So it feels weird to say it confidently. Now I want you to say, I'm on a weight loss journey confidently with me. I'm on a weight loss journey. Okay, that feels right. I'm on a weight loss journey. Doesn't feel strange, right? Now I want you to think really sad thoughts and say, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to lose weight. Kind of feels about right, right? I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to get healthier. Kind of about right, right? Now I want you to think those same really sad thoughts, sad thoughts. And I want you to say, I am on a weight loss journey. I am on a weight loss journey. I'm I'm tr- I'm getting healthier. I am losing weight. See how weird that feels? Yeah, you know what I mean? If you're going to tell yourself, I'm trying to lose weight, you're telling yourself a sad story. And if you're going to tell yourself sad stories about yourself, this is what's going to happen. You're going to stay stuck. But here's the thing, if you're going to tell yourself any story, you better make it an empowering one. I'm trying insinuates that you're struggling, you can't do it, you have no possible way of figuring it out, no help out in the world that you can get, and it's all just pretend and fake. I mean, what benefit do you even get from telling yourself something so disempowering? I have ideas why you're telling yourself something so disempowering, but do you know why you're doing it? Hmm. That may be something you need to dig into. You know, you have all the answers within yourself. Why you're doing something so disempowering to yourself, it's all within you. You have all the answers inside of you. You may not know how to untangle the answers inside of you, how to get them out and how to make sense of them. That is what a guide does, somebody like me. That's what I do with my clients. Because when you're so in it, it's really hard to see what's going on and how to make sense of it, which is why getting outside help helps you untangle this web and make sense of it and figure it out. So if you're going to tell yourself stories, you better make it a helpful story because I'm trying is sabotage language. Your words and how you talk to yourself makes a huge difference. Notice in the exercise we did, when you said I'm trying confidently, it doesn't work, right? It's a sad story. So when you feel sad and you really tap into that sad feeling and you say it in a sad way, it makes sense when you're saying it, right? So your words and how you talk to yourself and your language makes a huge difference in how you're going to show up, what you're going to do with your habits, how consistent you're going to be. And the thing is if you're anything like me, you might be super skeptical about what I'm telling you right now. It seems kind of like woo-woo stuff. You know what I mean? But you might be somebody who's kind of like, well, how would this really make a difference? So here's what I'm going to tell you. It's like if I gave you a code to put in your computer to help your computer run better. Our words, our language are a code. It's how we process commands, information, how we behave and take action, and the motivation we feel to do things. Your words are defining your operating system and how well you operate with food and habits and how you show up for yourself. You know, I've been doing this for 11 years, helping midlife women, and surprisingly, it is something I see all of the time. I sometimes feel like an English teacher in coaching calls, helping my clients shift their language and how they say things, because shifting how you say things is one really important aspect of how you change your mindset from that fixed mindset to a growth mindset. And your mindset is your operating system. Right now, the code to your operating system, it's all messed up. Your job is to find your disempowering words and begin to rewrite the code. And these are exactly the things I help my clients with. Because like I said, when you're in it, it's kind of hard to untangle all that stuff. So those are the 4 phrases you need to work on. Because remember, this is not a food issue. This is a you issue. And I want to take a moment to thank you for listening and being a loyal listener of the podcast. I've had the honor and privilege of working with many midlife women over the years to help them reach their goals. And the thing is I'm constantly thinking about ways that I can help you and how I can help you more and what the content was, you know, before I lost my 80 pounds that I needed to hear to help me start on my weight loss journey. And I want you to know, I believe you can figure this out. In fact, I know you can. And I know sometimes you feel like you can't, but you can. You are absolutely capable. You may not have it all figured out yet. You may need to get a guide to help you, but you are on a journey. You are on a weight loss journey. You're not trying, you are on a journey. And I want to challenge you with one final thing. What is one small action you can work on right now to help you get towards your goals? Maybe the small action you do is working to shift your words, working on how you speak to yourself, really trying to eradicate the disempowering speech that is sabotaging you secretly, because food, calories, and weight loss is really, really hard when you are talking to yourself in a very disempowering way. That's what I call being a jerk to yourself. So stop being a jerk to yourself. And again, if you need help with any of these things or you're interested in what I do, there's a link in the show notes. Talks all about my coaching, and you can set up a free consultation with me anytime you like. It's free to you. There's no obligation, and we can talk about how I can help you reach your goals. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon.